All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Raiders on the podcast here, 91.1 WRMU and Raiders Student Media. We got Will Moyer here today, Kris Jacoby, Jason Csank, Tom Dry, and myself, Jacob Buttar. And before we get things started, Kris Jacoby has some breaking news that I don't know what this is about, but break it.
This is related to the football program. You know, we're determined to win a national championship. It's been 7 long years.
Yes.
I believe 7 years. It's been too long. Let's just say that.
Okay.
But we made an addition to the team. It's a big addition. We have a new student assistant. His name is Tom Dry. He's officially on the team.
That is big news. Congratulations, Tom.
Yeah.
Let's go, Durs.
I was no hate. I'm a little underwhelmed. I don't know what I expected, but
I was a little scared.
I knew
there.
that already. This is not news to me.
Well, congratulations, buddy. Very proud of you, Tom. Very proud of you.
Thanks, Jacob. Hey, shout out Coach Klaus. Shout out Chris, top recruiter, literally in everything. I don't have much to do, but let's go. Let's go Raiders. Up the Raiders. Up the Ra. Let's go.
Up the Raz.
Stag is incoming. A stag is incoming for sure.
It's coming.
We're here for it, ladies and gentlemen.
We are. So we're going to kick things off here today, kind of how we kicked things off last week. This time, though, we're going to recap the NCAA Tournament, crazy weekend of college basketball. We've got a bunch of people in this room that actually went to a couple games as well.
Sir.
Although Tom and Chris, I got to admit, you guys were doing it all wrong. You could have seen Kentucky and Oakland later in the night.
I told him, and he was like, "No, I have I have science I wanted to work on."
It's German. Okay?
German?
And I got an
It's
A
the
on the
same
exam.
Screw that.
I had to study.
Dude, college basketball over German every
My
single
grades
day of the week.
my grades needed that A, and now I have an A in
That's
the
a
class.
bunch of malarkey, if you ask me. Come on, man.
You gotta
It's
prep.
Oakland
You have
basketball.
to prep for March Madness.
All right, yeah, prep for
This
March.
is you knew this was happening.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks, Will.
All right, but whoever wants to go first, just recap your thoughts on the first and second rounds of the NCAA
William.
tournament.
Okay. I went to all the games in Indianapolis.
Slay.
Purdue. I hate Purdue, man.
Zach
Their
Edey's
fans. I mean, sure they're good at basketball. Like no one is gonna deny that they win games. They play basketball that wins. But it is the worst. I mean, it's just the worst basketball you've ever watched in your life. It is so boring, so annoying. Zach Edey has no moves, which I mean, I guess he's a good basketball player, but he's not a fun basketball player.
Boban Marjanovic if he played
Yeah.
college basketball.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, but March Madness is about appreciating the great sport of college basketball, not dwelling on that one team in West Lafayette, Indiana. So did you guys think it was a great first weekend? I thought it was, I mean, a lot of good games.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Creighton, Oregon was probably my favorite game of the weekend. I thought that was a great game. That first and second round Oakland games, both really exciting. And I was at that Colorado-Florida game, 102-100.
That'd be wild.
That was a really fun game to watch. That
Yeah.
was that might have been my favorite game. That or the Creighton Oregon game. So, what do you guys think of that first weekend?
It was awesome. I mean, I loved it. I loved being at the games. I loved seeing Akron Creighton. Shout out to Akron basketball for winning the MAC.
Oh yeah,
They competed there for
They
a
did.
little
we did
bit.
win the
yeah.
MAC, and thank you to those great seniors who led this program for 5 years, winning us 3 MAC titles. Thank you to them.
Bro, if they could.
But this is not an Akron podcast. I hate that we bring up Akron.
Shout out Oregon and Jermaine Kuzma.
Oh,
I seen that.
And
40
Dante.
bomb.
Don't forget N'Faly Dante. I don't know if that's how you pronounce
Dante's
it.
going to the league.
He was balling, bro.
If Akron, they couldn't buy a bucket or a rebound for the first 8 to 10 minutes of the second half. If they play even like average there, it's a game. But
Creighton,
it was the first half was great.
I think Creighton can win it all. They are a exceptional team. They have the ability, you saw it against Akron, to have great shot making. Akron is not a bad defensive team, so they had some great shot making in that game. And then against Oregon, they didn't shoot as well, but they still found a way to win. we're going to be talking about the second weekend, but that matchup, Creighton and Tennessee, that is, to me, the best matchup, the best game of this second weekend. I think that could be the best game of the second weekend. That game, Creighton, so good.
I'm shocked that you guys haven't really mentioned, and we're going to kind of get into like our favorite games and favorite upsets here just in like a second, but I thought that Dayton-Arizona game was not Dayton-Arizona, Dayton-Nevada. That was where I was going. I was thinking ahead. Dayton ended up playing Arizona. That was a wildly entertaining game to watch, though, too. That was crazy. Even FAU, Northwestern, I feel like the first round was a lot more closer games than the second round, but the second round was still pretty entertaining. Yeah. The one that surprised me the most, and I don't think it should have surprised me, but I mean, I kind of dogged on them last week here on the pod, and I thought McNeese was going to beat them, which obviously that didn't happen.
That was crazy.
I thought Gonzaga was having a down year. Gonzaga kind of shut me up, and they destroyed Kansas. And
best mid-major program of all time for a reason.
Akron basketball.
What about Duquesne?
Oh, yeah.
Over BYU.
Shout out the Duke. Shout out Keith Dambrot. Keith Dambrot. My favorite mid-major coach ever.
Shout out Drew Joyce.
Yes, getting that job. Let's go, Drew.
Officially locked in.
Is it official? It's basically official. It's basically official.
According to Kris Jacoby's sources.
So it will be official.
Yeah. Do you have a source on that?
Yeah, I do. Keith Dambrot himself.
Oh my God.
PPG Paints Arena went wild when Duquesne won. It was good to see.
That's sweet. I heard about that.
They didn't even play there. They put it on the scoreboard like during Akron versus
Creighton.
I'm glad they did.
They had it in the
distract the fans.
The players were confused why they were booing, dribbling up the court and cheering next day.
Mr. Csank, what were your thoughts on that opening week?
I'd have to say favorite game, Colorado, Florida. Just absolute shootout. You love to see it. Best upset, didn't expect Oakland at all. Was also very surprised to learn that Oakland is not actually in Oakland.
It's in Michigan.
They're in Michigan.
Yeah. Horizon League.
Yeah.
Yes, shout out the Horizon League.
Yep. What's his last name? Jack
Golke.
Golke.
Oh. Yeah.
32 points on 4 dribbles is insane.
Dude,
that was awesome.
Jack Golke, to me, I don't know about y'all, he reminded me of Wolverine with his haircut too.
Yes.
He had like that Wolverine haircut going on.
Yeah.
That dude's a straight killer.
He's already balding.
He's gonna be doing my taxes in a couple years. It don't matter though. Jack Golke, man.
No, it was funny seeing a guy who's like balding. Like, if COVID didn't happen and we didn't have this extra year, we would not be able to see guys who are balding playing in college basketball and dominating.
Dude, COVID wasn't for nothing. It wasn't for nothing.
This is why COVID was great.
Those millions of people died so we could have better college basketball. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Coach Dart, please don't fire me. Shout out NC State. They're a couple of dogs, like I predicted. Let's go.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys that are balding in their early 20s. I want to take a second and brag about my bracket. So in a little group that includes both Will and Chris here, I'm winning and I'm beating Ramsey as well.
Yeah.
510 points. I did the math. I am in the 168,000 rank out of 22 million, which means that out of all brackets, there is 0.76% that are better than mine. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Mr. Csank. That's impressive.
I'm not clapping for luck.
Hey.
Oh, man. He knows ball.
You know who I also like though, because we could talk about kind of more upsets and favorite games. Grand Canyon, man.
Let's go GCU.
Grand Canyon.
They are a weird school. Did you see about what
they're like 28,000 students? I think, which I had no idea.
And they're a for-profit school.
That's crazy.
Which I didn't. That's weird.
Dude.
But yeah, I mean, those players. That one guy who didn't he? What was that dude who had a bunch of injuries?
2 heart surgeries.
Yeah,
and then
that's crazy.
Somehow comes back and he's like their leading scorer. So yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Another I was very surprised at Clemson. I don't know if you guys were. Yeah. I was so confident that New Mexico was going to beat them in the first round. I was so high on New Mexico and so low on Clemson. But I mean, Clemson, they're in the Sweet 16 now.
Dude,
Baylor was, oh my gosh, that end of that Baylor game, so disappointing.
And a couple of weeks ago, if you would have asked me about Clemson, I probably would have been like, yeah, I could see them maybe making a little bit of a run. But then the way they ended the season, in the ACC tournament, and then especially like how you said, New Mexico. I think we all were unanimous. Those that were here last week in New Mexico beating Clemson, and I mean New Mexico just laid an egg.
Yeah,
Mountain West was not really representing too well.
Stop. Mountain West is fine.
Okay,
Mountain West is fine.
They got clapped in the first and second round, though.
They had multiple teams winning in the first round, and they have a team in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
What more do you want from a mid-major conference?
I mean,
what more do you want from a mid-major?
To win. I mean,
They did win. They have a team in the Sweet 16 and a team that made it to the second
Utah
round.
State though did not give Purdue.
They should not have been. They should not have even been on that 8-9 seed.
I would agree.
Which
I
mean,
like a 7.
yeah, they did get killed, but
They got killed.
Utah
Colorado
State played
got
real.
killed,
Utah State
too.
was not a bad team. They played really well in the first round and beat a good TCU team.
It's true.
And Will has a Utah State playoff shirt.
Yeah, I did get a. I really liked Utah State this year. They were one of my favorite teams to watch. My favorite team in the Mountain West to watch. So I got a March Madness Utah State shirt before their game against Purdue, and then they got beat by 40. Yeah.
You like the Mormons?
Shout out Mormons. Shout out Sam Merrill.
I like
BYU though primarily, isn't it, or is Utah State also?
Utah State's Mormon too.
The whole state of
Well,
Utah.
I don't know. I like Great Osobor. That was basically the only reason because Great Osobor he was such an awesome big man to watch. He was so fun to watch.
He wasn't quite great against Purdue, but he also
Nobody on that Utah State team was.
Is he a Mormon?
Is he? I don't know.
70%
Could be.
How many wives does he have?
Don't know.
How many kids does he have?
I don't.
Philip Rivers?
No comment. Great Osobor, awesome college player.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Utah State had an awesome year.
They did.
Shout out Utah State.
Shout out Utah State.
San Diego State, they're in the Sweet 16 now.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get
Jaden
crushed.
Leedy.
Probably gonna get crushed by UConn, but
Yeah.
I mean,
UConn
so
has
would
been
almost
sweet.
everybody else in the tournament. So
Yeah. Who
who knows? I think San Diego State could give them a game.
They will. I think they got revenge on their minds. National championship.
Yeah, revenge only takes you so far, though.
Yeah. But I don't know. When you got a hulking figure like Jaden Leedy is, like, my goodness gracious, that dude was destroying UAB and Yale in the first and second rounds. Like, it was impressive.
Yeah, and Yale.
Yale.
You thought Auburn was gonna.
I thought they
go
were gonna
so
make a deep
far.
run. I did.
And then they
Bruce
stink.
Bruce
Jacob,
Pearl,
what happened?
Dude,
What happened?
I didn't even think Yale was going to get in the tournament the way they played against Brown in the Ivy League championship, too.
I wish Princeton would have got in, honestly. I mean,
they could have made it.
I'm glad Yale got that upset, but I wish Princeton would have got in because I love their team and I really like their guard Xavier Lee. I think I talked about him before on this show sometime, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we're going to transition now into just one topic before we go into the second weekend because this is a hot topic, I'm not going to lie. And we obviously have some closure on this now.
Yeah.
But so Kentucky obviously was the biggest upset I would have to say probably of the whole entire first weekend.
Definitely.
And Oakland, that was personally in the moment I hated it because like they just destroyed my bracket, but then as the game was going on and it was just a really really good game and Jack Golke is him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like I'm riding with Oakland now. Like, this is fine. I don't care that I'm losing a little bit of money here. But John Calipari, his team gets bounced once again. Kentucky, it was thought that he would be on the hot seat. This came out late last night, that John Calipari is coming back again to Kentucky. Is that the right move for the Wildcats, or should they move on from Calipari?
They haven't made the Sweet 16 in 5 years. Mm-hmm. If you're Kentucky, I don't. I would say, yeah. I think it would be time to move on from him because it just seems like he's not that serious about winning. He more is like wants to bring in players, and I mean, I don't know. I guess there's nothing wrong. He just does it a different way, I guess, than winning. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know. I would say yeah, but the other thing is like, there's not a lot of great coaches that are like out there right now. Like Louisville is getting the coach from the College of Charleston, which I think he will do a really good job at Louisville. I think he's a good coach, but there's not really a lot of good coaches out there that are like available. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his contract is. He also has a $30-something million buyout, which I'm sure those Kentucky fans, those SEC boosters, they can give $30 million like with the snap of the finger, bruh. Yeah. So if they really wanted him out, they would get him out. But I don't know. I would have said he was on the hot seat this year, but he definitely is going to be on the hot seat this upcoming season because they had a great roster, but just again couldn't do anything with it. Yeah.
I think this is pretty comparable to like Ryan Day. I'm not gonna lie.
Ryan Day.
I think that's a fair comparison.
They both are great at developing NFL talent. Professional talent.
Yeah.
Ryan Day, NFL. Calipari, NBA. But yeah, he's great at developing talent. I get what you're saying. Like, he's different because there's a lot of guys that just go there for 1 year. For 1 year, he develops the talent. They go to the draft. They're gone the next year. But it's been, you said 5 years since Sweet 16?
I don't know exactly, but I think it has been 5 years. Yeah.
For Kentucky, that's
and
horrible.
multiple bad upsets.
St.
Peter's. I forget who else they got upset by, but I mean, yeah, it's just, and he hasn't had any bad rosters really either. They should be better.
He's on the hot seat this year.
Has to be.
Like, if they don't make the Sweet 16 this upcoming year, then yeah, I would think Kentucky would start wanting to buy him out. I would think. Yeah.
I like the Ryan Day comparison because I don't follow college basketball that much, but that really helps me understand it more. 5 years with no Sweet 16, if that's true, for a blue blood program like Kentucky, it just can't happen. You got to at least make the Sweet 16. If you're going to be consistently ranked in the top 4 every year, you got to prove that you deserve to be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say it like this. The game has passed John Calipari by, I personally think. And this is why. And the NIL is great for making money for college athletes, but I think these old coaches are struggling with the NIL, and I think Calipari is no exception because this is John Calipari's model. Think about guys like John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, even I think Tyler Hero and like De'Aaron Fox were like one-and-doners too. The one-and-done model works when you don't have NIL present because you're just saying, come play for my school, I'm going to develop you for a year, and then you're going to be a lottery pick in the NBA, and you're going to make like $10 million next year. Now, these guys are making like a couple $1 million, like these top athletes just getting NIL deals in college right now. So the game is passing him by, I personally think. And we heard Nick Saban, this obviously isn't like the same sport, but Nick Saban said the NIL is kind of hard for older coaches to adjust to, and I think that's what John Calipari, I think that's his issue now, is like these other schools now, I don't want to say they've caught up because Kentucky still does get some of the best rosters in the country, but now these guys are kind of staying more, so these younger rosters don't even work for like competing anymore because look at Oakland. Even though Oakland probably isn't the same talent-wise, they had, Golke was a 6-year senior for crying out loud. And I know he played D2, but that's still a lot of experience compared to like these first-year dudes that are coming in here. And then a lot of those other Oakland players too were like 4-year guys that are willing to stay now because of the NIL. They're not just going on to the next level. So the one and done is passing college basketball by, and then that's going to ruin John Calipari, I personally think. And he's not adjusting at all to it, which is kind of what's got to be frustrating for Kentucky fans. I'm going to say it this much. I can't stand Kentucky fans, so I don't really care right now like what they do with him. But if I were Kentucky, I would say, Calipari, you can either retire or go to the NBA because it's not working with them anymore. So yeah,
I think you are right on that. The game has passed him by, but I wouldn't really say it's NIL because if you guys remember I think it was 2015, they went 38-0.
Yeah,
and then didn't win the title. Mm-hmm. They had Devin Booker on their. He was their sixth man.
Devin Booker was coming off the bench.
Yeah. How does that team not win a title? The only title he's won was with Kentucky. The only title he won with Kentucky was with Anthony Davis, who is one of the best talents in college basketball ever. Like he was so dominant that year. Mm-hmm. He averaged what did he average? 6 blocks a game or something crazy.
Yeah, he was
that
wild.
Might be an exaggeration, but he was. It's not an exaggeration to say he had one of the best college basketball seasons ever, and that willed them to winning the title. But I think, he just I don't. It's so weird. It's like, how do you? It seems like he just doesn't take like winning seriously.
No,
it's so weird.
No, I couldn't stand when he would just come in and he'd obviously get the best players, and it would just be like, oh, because we're Kentucky and we just get the one and doners. It's not a one and done thing anymore. I honestly don't think, because now these college guys are like, I could go to the NBA, because he would usually get even fringe first round picks who are going to be good in college, but they might not be great in the NBA. But he can still say, yo, come to Kentucky, and then you're going to be a first or second round pick right away. And these kids are like, okay, I don't really want to go to school, but I'll just go and he can help me get in the NBA. Now they don't need that help because they're making money with NIL, and I don't know. I'm not a Calipari fan. I think that it's passed him by, watching him struggle so bad.
Agreed.
All right, well, since we're all in agreement with that, now we're going to go over some updated predictions for the rest of the tournament. Again, we're going to do it kind of how we did it last week. We can be as brief as we want or give an explanation here for all the games that are remaining right now and just our predictions moving forward. So first, going to wrap up the East region. First matchup here, top-seeded Connecticut dominated the first weekend against San Diego State, who beat 2 seeds that were up over the 12 seed and a 13 seed. So, gentlemen, who do we think here? It's a national championship rematch from last year.
Yeah. I mean, I'd just say UConn.
Yeah.
I really think they have a pretty good chance at being the first repeat since 2007, which is a crazy feat to do in college basketball, especially under their circumstances where they lost a lot of their players from last year. Dan Hurley he's such a crazy guy, but he's just such a good coach. I think San Diego State will put up a fight. I think they got a good team. But, yeah, UConn is just too good. They're just too good.
I'm just going to keep it brief. UConn.
Yep.
There we go.
I will do the same. UConn.
Thomas?
We're all in agreement. It's UConn.
I'm also going UConn. I mean, looking at their first 2 games, Stetson, obviously they're going to blow out Stetson 91-52, but that score is a lot closer than that game actually was. Same thing for the second round. They beat Northwestern 75-58. That game was up, I believe, up by 30 at one point in that game. So, again, UConn's dominating. So UConn's going to win that game. Other matchup, a 2 and a 3 matchup. We got Iowa State.
This is going to be a
Illinois.
good game.
This will be a very good game.
Cinema.
Yeah.
This is a great offense versus a great defense. I mean, picking this game is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see either of these teams go up against UConn too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Elite 8 matchup between either of these teams would be great. I'll go with Iowa State though. Okay. I think Big 12 Iowa State, very physical. I think defense over offense in big games, but who knows? I mean, I think this is a really, really a toss-up because 2 good teams who play very different styles. Yeah.
Iowa State, Illinois. I think I'm going to go Iowa State. I think I'm just going to go Iowa State. I like Lipsy in the Gobert backcourt. I'm just going to go Iowa State.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict. It's March. Anything can happen.
Yeah. So. Also, both won their conference, too. Just kind of realized that. Both teams won their conference. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In the interest of my bracket, so I don't have to do an apology for bragging about it next week, I'm going Illinois. I don't really have a reason. That's just who I picked. But the positive thing is they did blow out Duquesne.
Yeah.
26 points is crazy to
a
pretty solid team that made a first-round upset. Now, Iowa State has had probably the tougher start playing Washington State, but I don't know. I'm pulling for Illinois.
Yeah.
Iowa State.
You know, I picked Iowa State last week, but Illinois did enough over the first weekend where they're swaying me. I think that they won both their games pretty comfortably. Obviously, too, Marcus Domask, he had a triple-double in their first game and their first wins, too.
Illinois is looking really good.
Illinois is looking really good. And then they're
Terrence
coming off,
Shannon.
Yeah.
Dane Danger.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
But, yeah, I mean, they're coming off the Big Ten championship, too, kind of like how you guys mentioned, too. So they're red hot, and I personally just think Illinois, it's going to be a very close game.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to match up with UConn.
Both teams are kind of coming into this game hot.
Yeah,
I mean,
they really are.
But, can't wait.
Elite 8, so the 3 of you have UConn and Iowa State. Jason and I have UConn and Illinois. What are we thinking for the Elite 8 champion?
Man. This going into the bracket, like when it came out, like trying to look ahead at like some of what I think could be the best matchups. This UConn versus Iowa State, I was kind of hoping this would happen because I think this could be a really, really great game. Two of the best teams. I thought Iowa State kind of deserved the last 1 seed. I think Iowa State is a great team. I picked UConn in my bracket. I think UConn is easy. They're just so good. They haven't looked bad a single time all season. So I'll go with UConn, but I don't care who wins this game. I'm just so excited. This is going to be a great game.
UConn.
If it happens.
I'm just going to go UConn.
Once again, UConn.
UConn.
I as well am going UConn. I mean, they haven't showed any faults yet. Like you can't.
No, it's crazy,
and it's unreal.
You
because
barely ever see this happen in college basketball.
If I'm not mistaken, last year they cruised for the most part too, all the way to the Natty. Like most of their games
in the tournament, yeah. In the regular season, they didn't look that. They didn't look that good, but in the tournament, they were
going into the tournament last year. But then they cruised throughout the tournament.
Yeah,
they just
won every game by like 13 plus or something.
Yeah. UConn's still going to go to the Final Four, I think, in that one. Down in the West region, couple good matchups here as well. North Carolina and Alabama, so the 1 versus the 4 here. What are we thinking there? Tar Heels and Roll Tide.
Alabama's run us over. I mean, I'm an Alabama fan, so I love rooting for Alabama, but I did not trust or really like this team for a while now. I didn't even think they would make it to the Sweet 16. I thought they were going to lose to Grand Canyon, and they almost did. North Carolina has impressed me quite a bit in this tournament so far. I thought they played really well against Michigan State. Yeah, I got North Carolina in this game. They got a really solid team. I think they're like role players are kind of underrated too. They got Ingram, Cormac Ryan. I think if they're playing well, North Carolina could maybe win the whole thing. I think they're playing really well right now.
I'm gonna go North Carolina. So if you know a little bit about me, you want to learn a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
I'd love to.
I'm an Ohio State fan, but North Carolina has always been my second basketball team. Like it's because of the baby blue color.
Yeah, best blue in sports.
Best blue in sport. I own the pair of J's. You know the retros.
He's a J wearer.
And I have a retro Michael Jordan North Carolina shirt. You know I support.
Shout out MJ.
But
hey,
you know,
what about Cleveland Cavalier legend Brad Daugherty?
Brad Daugherty.
Yep.
Shout out Brad. But yeah, North Carolina, RJ Davis. I was thinking of
Darius.
You had me tripping.
Daugherty.
No, you had me thinking of Darius Garland when you said Cavs.
Oh, well.
I meant RJ Davis, then Baycott, man.
Yeah, Baycott.
That's a dog on the glass.
He's a dog.
But yeah, North Carolina was actually my first pick to win it all. I either have them or UConn win it all. So North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm going North Carolina as well. I am also an Ohio State fan, so I just naturally hate Alabama. So if they
that makes
lose, that'd be
sense.
pretty
I hit Ohio State, so yeah.
So yeah, I'm going UNC.
Roll Tar Heels. No, I'm just kidding. UNC.
That roll Tar. That should be illegal to say roll Tar Heels.
No, I'm going UNC.
I'm on timeout.
All right, I'm also going North Carolina, but I want to say one thing about Alabama. They won their first game playing absolutely no defense and playing incredible offense.
That's how they've played all season.
And then they played the next game where they could not buy a bucket for the most of the game, and then they played great defense.
That game, it was such a bad game that it was fun to watch.
Even the commentators kept saying throughout the game, this is one of the ugliest games I've seen with all the turnovers and badly missed
every
shots.
possession there was 3 players on the ground just falling into everything. It was the worst.
It was crazy, but North Carolina, we're all unanimous on that one. And then Clemson and Arizona is the other Sweet 16 matchup.
You talk first. What do you...
Man,
you go first.
Clemson has been balling in the tournament. I honestly expected them to be a first-round exit. I didn't.
Yeah.
And PJ hasn't even been playing that well.
Yeah.
But Clemson and Arizona, I thought Arizona... I think they have the talent to win it all, but I'm just not confident in them doing it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying by that? I'm going to go Arizona. I'm just going to give them the edge, but I would not be shocked if Clemson pulls off that upset, the way they've been rolling. But I'm going to say Arizona and Caleb Love, I guess, on top.
Yeah, I'll take Arizona, but I honestly don't really like either of these teams very much. Arizona just did not look very good down the stretch. Who did they play in the second round?
Dayton.
Yeah, they beat Dayton
by 10. They beat them by 10.
That was a great game. Shout out Dayton.
Yeah, that was
Flyer Nation.
Yeah. I was hoping Dayton would give them a better game, and they did keep it close for a while, but, Arizona played well in that game. Arizona's just inconsistent to me. They've had some bad games, especially at the end of the regular season. I think Arizona will win, but I think whoever wins North Carolina, Bama will probably win this region, I would say. My opinion.
We didn't get there yet.
Arizona.
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 Tom?
Take the Tigers, please.
He's thinking about it.
I don't hate that pick just because I don't like Arizona.
This is how he reacted last week with North Carolina State too.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah,
I was right about
Mary's
winning this region.
Shut up, Jacob.
Well, I had Baylor. I had Baylor winning the region.
Dude.
Yeah, see, we're all idiots.
I didn't even have Clemson in this game.
Yeah, me too. I had New Mexico beating them.
I had Baylor.
Okay.
See, I dogged on Clemson last week, and I mean they played some decent ball. I mean, obviously they beat Baylor. Like if they come out fast, like they get a lead on Arizona. I mean, I don't know. They could run away with it. That said, Arizona is also Arizona. That also said, Arizona is Arizona, and they fold.
This man's spitting.
I'm dropping bars.
What you gonna say? What you getting to? What you alluding to?
it.
I'm gonna do it, Clemson.
I would like to formally change my pick to Clemson.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'd like to change my pick to Clemson as well.
I was very high on that Baylor team, and for them to beat that Baylor team, even though Baylor did fold, they won the game.
Did.
And I don't like Arizona. So I gotta go out on a limb with one of these. I'm taking Clemson.
I'm taking Clemson. You know why? Because,
bruh,
I don't have any reason. They looked good against Baylor.
I have a
guess.
reason, and my biggest reason is Arizona folds. Just like Tom said, Arizona is Arizona, and they fold hard. You know why? Because they are a whole Arizona. They're a whole bunch of.
Oh. No way. Okay.
Well, okay.
Your opinion on this game, Jacob?
I'm going Zona.
Okay.
I'm going Zona. I think they're gonna win. I get what y'all are saying, but they gotta go over the hump at least one time. I think.
Can't believe what he just did.
Dude, I both can and can't.
I didn't know we could do that. I'm gonna start doing that more often.
No. Zona's gonna win, and I'm just gonna give my preview already. I think Zona's gonna win the whole region. I think they're gonna beat. I think they're gonna beat North Carolina. I think Omar Ballo can at least somewhat neutralize Baycott a little bit, and I think they're just gonna get by. Caleb Love revenge too. Caleb Love I think could ball against North Carolina. So Arizona is definitely going to win the region, I think. But what do you guys think for your Elite Eight matchups?
I think Arizona and UNC would be fun, just for the drama of R.J. Davis versus Caleb Love. After they had, I don't even know what happened, but I know they had some beef, and then Caleb Love left.
I think Mr. Caleb Love. No offense to Mr. Caleb Love. I think he's a little immature, a little bit.
Yeah,
I just think he kind of didn't like that R.J. and him were like kind of combined, and he wanted to go off and do his own thing. That's what I took from that.
Yeah. But I would love to see that matchup because it'd be fun to see. So
Tar Heels.
But I think North Carolina is going to end up winning this region.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with that.
I don't know. UNC's really flawed. I mean, I don't know. This is March, and I do like Clemson, but I'm gonna go. Screw it. I'm going Clemson.
Clemson beat Carolina earlier in the year, too.
That is true.
They did beat them. That's when I was really high on Clemson, when they beat Carolina. But okay, so we got a Clemson, we got an Arizona, and then we got 3 North Carolinas. So very nice, very nice. But on to the next now. We are going to go up to the opposite side of the bracket now, the South region. We got Houston and Duke, the 1-4 matchup. This could be a good one. What are we thinking?
There are 2 Duke teams that we've seen this season. We saw the soft Duke team for basically every game, and we saw the good Duke team playing as James Madison. Jared McCain hit like 7 threes. Jared McCain, one of my favorite players in the country right now. He's an excellent guard. Houston, I think Texas A&M was like one of the toughest teams they could have played, like matchup-wise. I think A&M just really matched up with them well. They played super physical, which Houston also plays really physical. So that was a tough matchup for them. I got Houston again. I have Houston is my national champion. I picked them before originally my original bracket. I still think Houston is the best team in the country. If Duke does play like they did against James Madison, then I think they have a shot, but that was the only time I saw them play with like real intensity. All the other times they just seem to play however the other team wants to play. They don't really have their own style of play that they like enforce on other teams. So, yeah, Houston.
I'm going to go Houston. I'm just going to keep it simple, have them in my Final Four.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, but I got to take Houston.
This one's also difficult for me. I mean, I think Will summed it up pretty well. Like, there's two Duke teams. And I think you saw the first Duke team, like the kind of soft one when they played Vermont.
Very much.
Yeah.
And then you saw what a very, we'll say, aggressive and angry Duke team can do, and they beat the crap out of JMU. But I don't know. I've been deviating a lot, but I can't deviate here. I'll go Houston.
I know I said last week that Texas A&M was going to knock off Houston, and though I was wrong, my reasoning was kind of right because I said that
nearly
same thing
did.
you just did, Will. Like, I thought Texas A&M was going to be the toughest matchup possible for Houston, and so because of that, since they got over that hump, I'm taking them over Duke. Like, I think that Texas A&M kind of woke them up a little bit. Like, they obviously had the tough loss in the Big 12 championship. Then, I mean, you got the 1-16 matchup. They're going to win that unless you're Purdue, unless you're Virginia, really.
Yeah,
but
basically a bye.
Yeah, and then you got another big matchup against Texas A&M. They finally got over that, and they got over in a big way. 4 of their guys fouled out in that game. That was crazy. A walk-on had to hit some free throws to kind of ice the game in overtime. That's wild.
Yeah.
So Houston, to me, is going to knock off Duke. And then the other matchup in this one, we've got the 11 seed and the red-hot North Carolina State Wolfpack going up against the Marquette Golden Eagles, the 2 seed. This has the opportunity to be a very fun one. What do you guys think?
Marquette's really good. I mean, I saw them in person. I watched them twice in Indianapolis. Tyler Kolek is back, and he is playing exceptionally. He is seeing him in person. He is such a good player. Just like he just reads the court so well. Real great passer. Finds a way to score. He's a really good player. And Cam Jones also, I think he's just as good as Tyler Kolek. Cam Jones is a great scorer. He played really well in both their games, being kind of like their lead scorer. And I really like this Marquette team. I mean, NC State, great story. DJ Burns, I think, is a great player, but I really like this Marquette team a lot, how they played. I saw them in person. They beat Western Kentucky by like 17, but that was a close game. The final score did not tell the story of that game because Marquette had to face some adversity. They were
down at the half.
Yeah, they were down at the half to a pretty good physical. That Western Kentucky team, they could create their own shot. They were physical. They were a good team. So I think Marquette has 2 good wins now because that Colorado team really tough also. Okay.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Marquette, Tyler Kolek. He's going to be a great point guard in the NBA. You know, he reads the court well. He seems like a lunch bucket pail kind of guy. He knows
oh my God! Are you? Is that why you're laughing? I wasn't even. That's just how he plays. I'm not even trying to be cliche.
He's a gym rat.
He just a guy you'd want your daughter to date.
He's gonna.
He literally is just. He's so stereotypical.
See, but yeah, he is. He's gonna be a great backup point guard in the NBA. He will be. He just will be. And yeah, Marquette Golden Eagles. They're gonna fly. They're gonna fly.
He just flapped his arms like wings for everyone listening that wants to envision that, I guess. I wish I was listening so I didn't have to envision that.
I'll be honest. I'm going to take Marquette because I have them winning in my bracket that's doing really well. But, however, the first half of their first game and last game has me a little worried. They only beat Colorado by 4. They were losing to Western Kentucky by 10 or 15 at one point in the first half.
I don't think it got to 15. They were down they were down 10 at one point though. Yeah, double digits.
I'm a little worried. I hope they win. I'm gonna pick them to win because that's in my best interest. But I'm a little worried. We'll see how maybe it was just a couple bumps in the road and now they're past that. We'll see how it plays out.
Shout out DJ Burns though. I just gotta say that.
He's been playing. He's one of my favorite big men. Still playing right now.
You heard it here last week when I said NC State was going to make a run, and they have so far. I really think that this could end up being a buzzer beater type situation. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I think this could be a great game.
It may go to overtime, which I'm all here for. However, I did pick Marquette initially, and I'm going to stand on business.
We're unanimous. I'm going Marquette as well, but DJ Burns, he going to be a two-way player in the NBA, I think. Because I think he's a little bit – he reminds me a lot of Kenneth Lofton Jr., who's playing right now.
Kenneth Lofton Jr.
Dude, he's
awesome.
A baller, and I think DJ Burns is a baller too. But Marquette, Big East basketball, they're going on.
Did you guys – this is a little off talk, but did you guys see that Lampkin, the Colorado big man, he's transferring again?
He's in the portal.
I do not think he is that great of a player. I thought Colorado was better with him off the floor because they had a lead on Marquette like with a few minutes to go.
Yeah.
And then they brought Lampkin back on the floor, and he just like the spacing offensively with him in is horrible, and he can't defensively guard the pick and roll. Mm-hmm. I mean, he can score sometimes inside, but he's got bad hands. I was not very impressed by Lampkin, honestly. Yeah. A lot of people were, but I was not.
Yeah. Well, we'll go on to the Elite Eight. What are we thinking here? Marquette, Houston.
Houston. I'm just gonna say my pick now.
Yeah, me too.
Give me the Cougars.
Go Cougs.
I love Cougars.
I once again chose Marquette, but that game is one that I'm gonna be very worried about. That could be a blowout, honestly.
Kolek. I don't know if Kolek could handle Jamal Shed. Jamal Shed might put him in a box. Jamal Shed is gonna work him.
Chris, you're literally Zach Wilson with like less talent, and that's saying something.
Chris is?
No, what? He's saying stuff. He's like, "I love Cougars." I'm like, "All right, bro. All right, Zach Wilson. Good God."
Wow.
I'm kidding, Chris. You're my friend. Anyway.
Friendship ended.
It's over. It's done. Goodbye.
Don't get Coach K to fire me. Don't call him.
He's texting right now.
Houston or Marquette?
Ring, ring, ring.
Houston. Because I also love Cougars.
All right.
Oh, my God.
Houston to the Final Four. All right. Yep. And then we're going to go last but certainly not least. We are going to go down to the Midwest region where we've got the top seed in the region, Purdue, taking on Gonzaga. What are we thinking here? Purdue.
Let me get it out the way. Gonzaga's winning this game.
Okay.
I am scared because I don't really love the matchup of Graham Ike versus Zach Edey. Graham Ike, a little undersized, gets into foul trouble quite a bit. But I'm praying. I want Purdue to lose so bad. And I think Gonzaga is playing really well right now.
Yeah.
They impressed me versus Kansas. Kansas did kind of have a disastrous end to the season, but Gonzaga, please.
I got Purdue, unfortunately.
No one likes Purdue.
No.
Nobody.
Same as Chris.
Tom?
Don't even say the team's name.
Gonzaga surprised me. I did not have them. I don't know. Maybe it was disrespectful, but I think I had them losing to Kansas, and that we saw how that went. But Gonzaga.
Yes, go Zags.
Gonzaga did enough to convince me to pick the Zags as well.
Yes.
This is why, okay? I can't stand – I know, Will, you just can't stand Purdue in general. I can't stand Matt Painter. I think he's a terrible head coach.
Yeah.
Because this is Matt Painter's philosophy. Let me go recruit a 7'2 to 7'4 foot tall big man, and then I'm going to get some shooters that go ice cold in the tournament at like the worst possible time of year. It's coming. And I was watching the tournament with my friends over the weekend, and even though we were watching and like, okay, Zach Edey's dominating, everybody's doing this, everybody's doing that, I was like, don't worry, bro, it's coming. Like the downfall's coming. We know the downfall's coming.
I didn't even dislike Purdue. Like when they had like Carson Edwards, like
fun.
that year they made I think they only made it to the Sweet 16, or did they make the Elite 8?
They made the Elite 8.
That was a great team.
I think that was the best team they've had. I still don't have faith in this team because I think this team is literally Zach Edey, and then if Zach Edey is just off, then the other guys, I'm not confident.
But I also think I would not be surprised really if they win the national championship because
of Zach
they
Edey,
do play winning basketball.
Yeah. It's terrible looking basketball.
It's not fun to watch. It's like it's not fun to watch. Their fans are annoying and scream. So Purdue was up like 30 on Grambling State with like 5 minutes left. And they were screaming at Grambling State players to miss their free throws. Like, have some shame, like have some dignity. It's just crazy. Purdue fans are just annoying.
Sounds like Alabama fans, honestly.
They're just like dorks.
And Ohio State fans, because they're toxic too.
Yeah.
It sounds like every big school fan.
I don't know. They just annoy me.
I think most college fans are like that. I'm just being real.
Yeah, probably. So not us though. Not Purple Raider fans.
No, we're chill. Not Akron fans either.
Not Akron fans. What about Kent fans? They're the worst.
Kent fans are terrible.
John Carroll fans.
Terrible.
Even worse.
Jacob, you have an experience.
I have an experience that's for another day, bro, because I could go on and on and on about that. I go on and on and on. But, okay, so we got 3 Gonzaga, 2 Purdue, and then the other matchup, we got the 3-seed Creighton Blue Jays and the 2-seed Tennessee Volunteers. What are we thinking here?
This
cinema.
This might end up being the best game of the tournament, I think. I'm so excited for these two teams. I could also see Tennessee just completely not showing up because it is Rick Barnes. Dalton Connect didn't shoot super well in their last game, if I remember correctly, but he still had like 20 points, and they still did end up winning. But I don't know. This is going to be a great game. I hate to bring up that it is a great white guy matchup, but it is a great white guy matchup. You got Dalton Connect versus Ryan Kalkbrenner and Baylor Shireman, 2 just sensational players. 3 sensational players, I mean. And I'm so excited for this. This is going to be such a great game. I'm going to make sure I sit down and watch this game because I think both these teams are really good. Creighton especially. I really like this Creighton team.
So you're going Blue Jays?
Yes.
Okay.
Tennessee Volunteers. I love Tennessee, man. They're in my Final Four.
I guess we're handing the mic now.
Because each time I would pull back away and I would just be looking at him. And
Creighton's making a great run. They're firing on all cylinders right now. However, I picked Tennessee, so that's what I'm going with. I think it's going to be a good game.
I also think Creighton has the better coach. I think Greg McDermott is a far better coach than Rick Barnes. I think Rick Barnes is not a good coach in March. He's proven that.
Creighton.
Yes.
I don't think Tennessee's playing very well right now. I'm not going to lie. I did not like how they played against Texas at all. I think Dalton Connect had a really, really bad game against them. So, I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about Tennessee, and I picked Creighton originally. So, give me the Blue Jays. I'm going Creighton. So, we got 3 that are going Creighton as well as Gonzaga. And then I think you two are kind of the outliers again. Like, you got Purdue, and then you got Tennessee. So, why don't you guys pick Purdue and Tennessee? Who do you think? And then we'll kind of go over ours.
Volunteers, Final Four.
Okay. Wow. That would. Wow.
I got Purdue. Okay. If that is the matchup, I think that's what's going to happen. But then that perfectly sets up my bracket for Marquette to beat Purdue and then go on to the Natty, which would be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
William?
Creighton. Creighton is my team in the Final Four out of this region.
Creighton.
I as well am going Creighton. I think the Blue Jays are going to make it on to the Final Four. And very quickly, we'll go over our Final Four here. So, I'm trying to think. We all had UConn, right? We all had UConn.
Yes.
A couple of you guys had North Carolina.
Mine is UConn versus North Carolina.
Yeah, I think all 3 of you had UConn, North Carolina. I had UConn, Arizona. And Tom, you had UConn and Clemson. So, who are we thinking is going to win our matchups? We'll go you 3 first.
Yeah, UConn. They're just so good. I hate going this chalk and just picking UConn, but they're just so good. They haven't shown a single flaw really all season. They have, I think, the best coach in college right now. They've got a really solid all-around team. I think it's to their advantage that they don't really have one specific star player. That they really have a great group of guys who all can play at a really high level. I think this UConn team is just. They're just too good.
North Carolina basketball.
Oh,
wow.
I would probably pick UConn winning, but I want UNC to win because that's who I actually picked. But I think UConn's just too powerful right now.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I think this could be a great game. Really good matchup.
Clemson will lose.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, shit.
Scared me right there. Okay, UConn is going to win this game over Arizona, in my opinion. Huskies are moving on. And then, okay, so we got our other matchups. All of us except Jason had Houston. Jason's got his Marquette team. Jason, you already
I don't hate that, honestly.
Yeah.
I think Marquette
you already
could
mentioned,
win.
right, Marquette, you got going to the national championship game and everything. So Jason, we know, had Marquette, and then you also had Purdue. Marquette beating Purdue in that matchup. And then, trying to think, you had Tennessee.
Houston and Tennessee.
You had Houston, Tennessee, and then we all had Houston and Creighton.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
I'll start off.
Tennessee.
Houston, Tennessee. I'll go Houston.
Okay.
And I think this could be a great game. This whole like Sweet 16, like all of these teams in the Sweet 16, I think are so good. I really think this is going to be one of the best like second and third weekends like we've ever had. I think there's so many good teams, so many teams that really I think could win the national title. Obviously, Houston and UConn are the two like teams that kind of feel like they're above everybody else, I think. But there's just so many good teams, and I think Creighton and Houston are two other great teams. I already said Houston is my national champion, so I picked Houston, but Creighton's a good team. I would not be surprised.
This one's tough for me, but do I want to do this to myself? We ball. Creighton.
I don't hate that.
Not a bad pick. I'm going Houston though. How I kind of said earlier, I thought their toughest test was going to be Texas A&M, and they passed the test. So Houston to me is going to go play UConn. So Jason already said that he's got Marquette winning the Natty in that regard as well. You already said you got Houston, Will, winning the Natty.
Jamal Shed.
All right, we got North Carolina and Houston. What are we thinking?
Brad Daugherty in this, man. Let's go UNC. I'm Brad Daugherty.
Okay.
UNC.
UNC it is. Tom?
Stop hitting the mic.
UConn and Creighton. You got an all Big East championship.
Oh, wow. Big East is the best second best conference.
Big 12.
What's the first?
Big 12.
Big 12's the first. The Big 10's probably third or fourth.
ACC is third.
Bro,
because Big 10 had a down year.
You were talking trash on the ACC.
Yeah, I don't like the ACC. I don't like the ACC, but they're objectively better than the Big Ten.
Thank you. You know what? Huskies. Let's go.
Yeah, I picked the Huskies last week. I'm still going Huskies. So got UConn beating Houston.
Yep.
So we got Will thinks that Houston's going to win. We've got Chris over here thinking that the Tar Heels are going to win. We got Jason thinking Marquette's going to win. And then Tom and I are riding with UConn here. But Big East basketball, again, we got 3 Big East picks over here because Marquette also from the Big East. So
imagine if the Big East gets three other teams in the Final Four.
I will laugh so hard because
that would be crazy.
That's the only 3 teams that they have. And St. John's could have gotten in. Seton Hall could have gotten in. Providence made an argument.
St. John should have been in.
St. John should have been in.
Over Virginia, but
they should have been in. Another debate. But
okay. 2 weekends ago.
Yeah. So done there with college basketball. We're going to try to hit as many of these topics as possible here. For the other sports that are going on, one big scandal right now going on in Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani and his former interpreter, they're under federal investigation for some gambling allegations. Upwards of $4 million came out of Shohei Ohtani's bank account here.
That's nothing.
It's nothing for when you sign a $700 million contract. I agree.
Of course.
Mr. Shohei Ohtani, it's not looking good for baseball. We've seen a bunch of these different cases go down in the past. What do we think is going to happen, though, here for Mr. Ohtani and the rest of baseball?
I'm going to start here because this is going to be controversial opinion, a hot take, if you will. I don't see a problem with this. If he did not bet on the Angels to lose, I don't see a problem with that.
You think you should be allowed to bet on your own team to win?
Absolutely. It gives you more of a reason to win. If you're not intentionally throwing the game.
I just think that's bad for like competitive integrity. Yeah. I think it's like a slippery slope to like I don't know. I would absolutely
Pete Rose
should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Pete Rose too. He wasn't like actually playing. He was just managing.
Yeah.
Which I mean I guess is still like integrity, but I don't know.
Like I said, I think it messes with the integrity if you bet on your team to lose. That's where it gets. That's where it gets all
Jonte
messed up.
Porter.
Yeah,
Jonte.
That's where it gets all messed up.
Thing, bro.
Also, there is absolutely no way. Yes, Michael Jordan. There is absolutely no way that Shohei had no idea this was going on.
Oh,
I don't buy that at all. You can't just funnel millions of dollars out of your best friend's bank account and they not know it. That's BS. He was in on it. But like I said, I don't think this is, if he wasn't betting on the Angels to lose, I don't think this is something the Feds need to get involved in.
I got a response to this, Jason.
What is the current
Stop with those responses, bro.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what is the current like story? What is like the story
To
that
my knowledge, the story right now is that his interpreter was basically broke. Like there's no sugarcoating that. Like he was barely
didn't he
making
also
any money.
like lie about working for the Red Sox and like his college degree?
He lied about college.
He lied about I don't know about the Red Sox part.
Okay.
I know basically it is then he found an illegal sports book keeper. This guy that he's betting off of does not have a legal sports book. I don't know the guy's name. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But he essentially got in with him and he couldn't stop gambling, and it was upwards of $4 million that he took out just to pay this guy off. I don't even know if he won on the bets or anything. Like, so that's a whole other thing.
Addiction is terrible.
But $4 million is crazy.
Man.
Yeah, I have no comment until like they find out more details. But yeah, Shohei definitely knew something about it. But who knows
PR
to what extent?
Yeah.
Are you PR trained, Chris?
Actually, I am. I do have to.
Did you take SBB 330 by chance?
No.
PR and marketing.
Oh.
No further comments.
Chris.
No questions.
I'll
please.
take any other questions related to the topic.
All right, Jason, your take, I believe, is the right one. I don't see anything wrong with betting on yourself. Obviously, like, I don't know. I think that's the most gangster thing possible to do.
I mean, it is pretty cool, but I don't know. It's just, I don't.
It's literally like, I will win, and I'm going to find a way. Like, that's the most, dude, that's the American dream. I'm not even kidding.
He's getting paid enough. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Ohtani, well, yeah, but it's a vice. It's fun. I enjoy it. I hope my mom's not listening.
Mrs. Dry.
Chris, keep her name out of your mouth.
He didn't mention who Mrs. Dry is. It could be a completely unrelated Mrs. Dry.
As long as it's not my sister or mom, I don't care.
Sister. No, that is not your sister. We're not talking about your sister. Your sister is underage, Tom. I'm not talking about...
I know, Chris.
I'm not talking about your sister, buddy.
Good, Chris. Good, Chris.
I was talking about your mother.
You keep my mom's name out your freaking mouth.
Oh, man.
What's up, Tom's sister, though?
Oh, my God.
Hi. No, I was just saying hi. Like, hi. Hi. But not talking about you. Shout out Tom's mother. Birthing a legend. Yes, sir.
Back to Ohtani. What else should you say about Ohtani?
I don't know.
I'm speechless. This is probably why we have 5 views per episode. But
500.
I don't think
Chris, shut the hell up.
You just got to add 2 zeros.
All right, Ohtani's a gangster. His interpreter kind of a D-bag, I guess. I don't know. Go Dodgers.
Yeah, I think we don't know the whole
But-
story probably.
Yeah,
Who knows?
We gotta wait another month or two until
Yeah.
we have everything. But the Pirates with the power of friendship will be them in the NL.
Yes. Yes.
Bro, this is a horrible look for baseball, though. This
It
is
is,
horrible
yeah.
because Shohei is just another example of a superstar that's just caught up in like a horrible scandal. Like we already talked about Pete Rose. Barry Bonds obviously comes to mind as well for his great steroid use, which I still think he should be in the Hall of Fame
Yes.
too, personally. And then you also got guys like even Roger Clemens, who's kind of out of the Hall of Fame. Alex Rodriguez had a bunch of issues as well.
He can stay out.
Yeah, he can stay out though. I agree with that. But
The Yankees.
I mean, Shohei to me, like he's got to get in some trouble, but I don't think Major League Baseball is gonna get him in any trouble. Like, because again, I agree. Like, there's no way, bro. You don't know that $4 million are coming out of your bank account like that, and you're not questioning
Yeah.
it. Like, he totally knew what was going on.
And he seems
Like, I would know if $4 came out of my bank account.
he seems like a smart and like he seems like a guy who like keeps track. I mean, who knows? He just seems like a professional guy who would know. I don't know. I mean, you would think you would know about $4 million. You'd hope.
I mean, I don't know. We obviously don't know much about him. He does seem like one of the chillest guys on earth, to me at least. He does seem pretty chill. So it could be he probably did know. He's probably just trying to help a brother out. But
yeah, I mean, I guess if he did just like I'm gonna like take care of your debts, but why would you not tell anybody?
Yeah,
like
he knows stuff, bro. He does. If
he's like, I didn't know about this, like he is in his gambling debts, but I'm gonna help him. I mean, I guess like. Would the MLB put him in trouble for that? I wouldn't
just
think.
A couple games. I don't think they'd ban him, but like because
$4 million is not
here's the thing.
A couple games.
Well, no. But here's the thing. Like for my Ohtani thing, what I should clarify. I don't think Ohtani made any of the bets. I genuinely think it was like just all of his interpreter. But when he's coming out like, bro, I don't know what he was doing with my $4 million, dude. I don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
Like he knew something was going on. I think he's gonna get games. Like he should get suspended games, but it shouldn't ruin like his whole legacy. I don't.
How about we let him play in the regular season, only suspend him during the playoffs?
I like this.
Let's only suspend him during the playoffs.
It's not like it's gonna matter. I mean, the Dodgers.
Yeah,
they always fold. But I do have to shout out Ohtani. If he did know and he gave his friend $4 million, that's a bro.
Yeah,
that's a bro move.
I suppose. Yeah,
that's a dude I want to be rocking with.
Yeah. True.
Right. Well, we'll see what unfolds here.
Yeah, who knows? We still don't really know.
Yeah, we still don't know, and we will see as it unfolds. But we're going to transition here to the NBA now. We're going to go over some topics here pretty quickly for the NBA. We got the East and the West right now. It's starting to get tight. We're coming down the stretch. It's going down towards the playoffs here now. So first we'll go over Eastern Conference standings right now just really quickly. Boston in the 1 seed, Milwaukee in the 2. Just 2 games up on the Cavs, who are in 3rd. Cavs are half a game up on the Knicks in 4th. The Knicks then are only a game up on the Magic in 5th, so that's a whole mess right there for the really 2 through 5. I mean, even Milwaukee can kind of tumble here. Indiana is 6th right now. They're 2 games back of Orlando. Miami's then a game and a half, so is Philadelphia right now. Miami's got the tiebreaker over Philly for the 7 seed, so Philly's the 8. Then you got Chicago and Atlanta down in the 9 and the 10. They're kind of pretty distant from everybody there. But then in the West, you got the Nuggets. They're in first place, a half game up on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are in 2nd. Minnesota in 3rd. They're a full game and a half behind Denver for that number 1 seed. The Clippers are then just a little bit further back, 6.5 games back of Denver for the 4. New Orleans just a half game back from the Clippers right there at 5. And then, of course, you got the Mavericks, who are red hot right now as the 6th seed. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They're coming off a big win over Sacramento, who's down the 7 seed. They're tied with Phoenix there. Phoenix has the 8. The Lakers have the 9 right now. Golden State at the 10. And just a full game back now is the Houston Rockets of the Golden State Warriors as well. So a lot going on. What do we think about the standings, and what do we think is going to happen down the stretch?
Would you like to talk, Chris? Take my mic.
What do I think's going to happen?
Yes.
Mr. Buttar, whatever you want to happen. I'm just playing. But
what are you on about today, Chris?
Mr. Buttar, we all know we want the Cavs in the finals, but let's be real here. We're going to talk about the East, all right? Let me speak some real stuff real quick. All right, we're going to say Boston. They're for sure the top team, top dog. But you got to watch out for Miami. Miami, man, they just put some work in on the Cavs. They put in work on everybody. Come playoff time, Jimmy Butler, man, that's a different guy, man.
Well, they're going to be playing in the play-in.
Yeah, but they did last year.
I know that, but I'm just saying, like, the final standings. Like, I'm not even looking ahead to the playoffs. I'm just saying, like, final standings. Like, they're not going to get out of the play-in. Well, no, for standings is what I'm saying. Not like
they could, though.
Game.
They're only a game out of 6th.
But Indiana's playing good right now, so I don't think Indiana's going to give it up.
We'll see what happens, though. I would prefer the Cavs to play the Pacers, 100%. That's who I want.
I'd rather than play the Magic, bro.
Pacers or Magic, then Sixers.
Yeah, no playoff experience over there.
For the East, you're going to have to go. I mean, Milwaukee's a team that can tumble, but I'm going Boston out of the East. I feel like they're going to finish first, but they're probably going to go to the finals. But I would watch out for the Knicks. If they get healthy, watch out for those New York Knicks.
Mitchell Robinson is going to come back. He's questionable.
Watch out for those New York Knicks.
That's
Julius
scary
Randle and OG
if he's
Anunoby's still out, though.
And shout out Cavs. Hopefully second round appearance. Donovan and Strus may be back Friday. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, Donovan's going to be back.
Then Dean Wade's should be back before the end of the regular season.
That man has not played since his magical Boston Celtics win.
So we need to get healthy as Cavs, but Boston out of the East, out of the West, man. Denver, It's hard to pick over Denver, but Minnesota's playing some good basketball. And the Thunder.
Without Cat, too.
Without Cat. You know what? I'm definitely going to say it's probably going to be Denver out of the West, but honestly, give me those Timberwolves right now. Give me those Timberwolves out of the West right now. And you know what? Timberwolves, maybe a finals champ. I don't know, but I think Boston has the finals right now. But shout out LeBron, too. LeBron in that play-in, man.
He's going to be in the 9-10. I think that's lock. I think he's going to be playing for
The West is so crazy right now, down low, like in those. You said Houston's just a game out.
Houston's just a game out, yeah.
But, yeah, Lakers are going to the Western Conference Finals again, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. They're playing. I mean, look what they did last night to Milwaukee. Look at that 17-point comeback in 8 minutes and 25 seconds, forcing double overtime. No LeBron.
When I go, I'm not going to make any playoff predictions because I'm just going with the standings. Like, I'm not even going to get into that. But that's
shout out LeBron.
I'm really liking OKC.
Okay.
I think we could have that narrative. What was it? Just 12 years ago, they made the finals with a very young team of Russ, KD, Serge Ibaka, James Harden.
As a sixth man, James Harden is a sixth man.
I think this OKC team is really good. I think Gilgeous-Alexander been MVP candidate.
If it wasn't for Nikola Jokic, she'd be the MVP.
If I want to give a finals prediction right now, I would like to. I think a Celtics Thunder final would be fun. I think that would be fun, and I think realistically that could happen. I mean, the Thunder really good. I think people kind of doubt them because they are still young. I think people doubt young teams, but I just got a feeling because it happened with the Thunder before. I don't know. Just I can envision that a Thunder and Celtics finals, or a Clippers Celtics finals. I don't know about that. Clippers,
they're struggling.
Yes, to say the least.
I also like the Thunder out of the West, honestly, just because I'm not rocking with Denver. I've never been rocking with Denver, but the Thunder have been playing good basketball all season. I could honestly see them making a push for one. The East, I think, unfortunately, it's going to be the Celtics. However, 2 through 7 is crazy.
Yeah.
Anything could happen, and what we're rocking with is Cavs at the 2. That's what we want to see. I think that's what's going to happen. I think we can make that last game, that last little stretch, especially if we're getting Donovan and Strus back. I think we could, and Dean Wade. I think Milwaukee could slip those 2 games, and we could take the 2 seed. Honestly.
Preach it. Speak it into existence.
Basketball depresses me. Buddy Hield is hurt. Kelly Oubre Jr. is hurt. My MVP is on the bench. The Sixers.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The fact, if Joel was healthy right now, we'd be at least the 3 seed. But we're probably gonna lose. We're gonna get to. We're a play-in team right now. We're gonna get there. We're gonna lose. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna swear off basketball until next October. But yeah, I don't know. I think I like the Magic as a 5 seed. I like them making some noise. Maybe I think they could beat the Knicks for sure. That would be funny because anytime New York loses, it's funny.
I would agree with that.
And also, shout out the Pacers for coming back and being good at basketball again. And then, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see Houston in the West overtake Golden State. They're a game back. So, I mean, it's possible. I'd like to see that. I'd also like to see LeBron lose, but it's neither here nor there.
How important do you guys think the Cavs getting the 2 or the 3 would be compared to the 4 seed?
I'd rather them get the 3 over any of those other ones because the 4-5 you might play. Well, it depends. If New York falls to the 5, I don't want no business with New York. But if Orlando's in the 5, or maybe even Indiana, okay. I do
but
not.
Then
want
you're going to have to
two.
play Boston in the second. I mean, you're going to have to play Boston anyways.
I'm just going to put it real here. I do not think the Cavs are making the conference finals or the NBA finals the way that we're playing. No. I just want them to win a series, or I want them to at least heavily compete, like lose the first round in 7 games.
No. You cannot lose in the damn first round again. JB's gone.
Dude, I'm not saying like I want them to lose in the first round. Like but I don't want to get embarrassed like how we did last year. It's
important to hold on to the 3 seed because I do not want no business as a 4 seed right now. I want no business in Miami potentially climbing up. I don't want to play Miami or New York first round. I don't want to play Boston in the second round. Ideally, what you do is you keep that 3 seed, or maybe you can go get that 2 seed and you play Indiana or Orlando, hopefully the first round.
Well, I think the Cavs are just holding on for dear life right now, honestly. Even when Donovan comes back, I think they're going to be holding on for dear life because I don't know if you guys have been looking at their schedule at all. Their schedule, I can't stand how the NBA did the scheduling for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I understand, like, MAC tournament, they had to go on a road trip. And now the women's Final Four coming up, they got to go on a road trip too just because of that. Like, it's just scheduling issues. But over this span, I believe they're probably in, like, game 8 of this, like either 8 or 9, they're going to play 14 straight games in 14 different cities. So what that essentially means is like they're going on a 4-game road trip, come back to Cleveland for 1 game, then go on like a 2-game road trip, come back to Cleveland, and then they just like it's horrible. And so it's wearing them out because you got Donovan out, obviously, you got Strus out, you got Dean Wade. Hopefully those guys are coming back and they're going to be fine, but I just want to see the Cavs hold on to a 2 or a 3, but I don't think they have any shot at making the 3. I wouldn't be surprised if they move down to 5, honestly, because, dude, like they're going on a West Coast trip too, and so it's not like it's an easy trip that they're going to go on. So I just want to see them play like competent basketball going into the playoffs. But I'm kind of low on the Cavs right now because Darius Garland's driving me nuts, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie.
DG, but
he has what my dad and I call AAU turnovers, because this is an AAU turnover. Is he throws the laziest passes in the world. He just does like the one hand, like, oh, I played AAU ball, here we go, fancy pass, when you can just do like, I don't know, like a decent chest pass or something, for crying out loud. He turns the ball over way too much. He's driving me crazy. He's driving me absolutely crazy. Obviously they play better against Charlotte, but anybody's going to play better against Charlotte. So I don't know. But as far as the rest of it goes, obviously Boston's going to be the top team in the East, and I think Milwaukee's locking down the 2 seed personally. Like I think Milwaukee's going to get the 2 seed, and then it's going to be a dogfight. I think it could go either way for 3, 4, 5 when you talk about Orlando, New York, and Cleveland. I can't even believe I'm putting Orlando in that statement though. Like I genuinely cannot believe that Orlando's in that.
Do you take them seriously in the playoffs? Like, do you think
I don't take them seriously in the playoffs? No.
No. Just because they're so young.
Yeah. They remind me. I'm trying to think what a good comparison would be. Like the early Giannis teams that made the like playoffs. Like where obviously they had like Milwaukee had a young budding star in Giannis, but the rest of the team's super young. They're super inexperienced. That's why like I know y'all are high on Oklahoma City and Minnesota and everything, but I don't have much confidence in them just because they don't. Oklahoma City's never been there. Like they've never been to the playoffs with that group. They're young guys, and I don't care what people say. Like they are going to have to run into, if they get a 2 seed, which I think they're going to get a 2 seed. I think Denver's going to get the 1, and I think Oklahoma City's going to get the 2. Oklahoma City is going to have to run into possibly the Phoenix Suns in the first round, which they're going to be messing with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker right there. They got great playoff experience.
I don't take the Suns seriously.
I'm not saying I take the Suns to beat them, but like people that are like, Thunder are going to get in and they're going to be fine like right away. Like just think about that. They're going to play Phoenix potentially.
Yeah.
I think it's a great matchup for Oklahoma City though if they play Minnesota in the second round. If you survive the first round and you're playing Minnesota, like I'd take them over Minnesota to get to the Western Conference Finals. But then I know people don't like how the Nuggets play. The Nuggets are the defending.
I like the Nuggets. I like the Nuggets.
They're the defending champions. Like you got to give them respect. Like
yeah.
I'm not taking Oklahoma City over Denver yet because Denver showed me nothing that's like, oh, they're gonna lose to Oklahoma City in a best-of-7 series. And then even I'm not high on this team, and this was another thing that I was going to say. I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers fall to a 6, which I think honestly might be better for them because then you might match up with Minnesota or you might match up with Oklahoma City. And I would take their playoff experience, even though it's James Harden in there too. I would take that playoff experience over any of those teams. But I think they're going to drop to 6 because you got other teams that are red hot right now. The Pelicans are playing great basketball right now. Dallas right now is playing great basketball. They're red hot. Sacramento's not playing horrible right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers fall all the way to 6, which could be in their benefit, though, like how I said. Because I like an experienced team in the playoffs going up against an inexperienced team. We saw that last year because Memphis last year, super young team that's like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, we dominated the regular season. Like, let's go. Like, we're going to go in the playoffs. Can't even beat LeBron. And obviously, because it's LeBron. Like, it's a veteran-based team. NBA playoff basketball is so much different than the regular season.
Obviously it was the bubble, and a lot of those guys weren't on that team. But I think some of those guys did get some really good experience in that one series they had. Yeah, and Lou Dort.
Yeah, Shea and Lou will be fine, but like Chet Holmgren is putting up these numbers.
That's true.
Like, in the NBA playoffs, I mean, we saw last year.
Yeah, it's going to be physical.
Evan Mobley and Chet Holmgren, even though Chet's probably a little more skilled because he's got like a better jump shot and he can get offense a little bit more efficiently than Evan right now, they're very similar in like their stats kind of. Like Evan's a little bit down on the points compared to Chet, but he's a little bit up on the rebounds, and then blocks is kind of like a wash right now. Look at what the Knicks did to Evan Mobley last year in his first playoff run. Like, Evan Mobley looked horrible last year for the Cavs in the playoffs.
The lights were brighter than expected.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're going to game plan for dudes like Chet Holmgren, who is in his first go-around and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to get into playoff predictions here, but I think Oklahoma City and Minnesota are going to be, like, in the top 3, but come playoff time, I don't know. I don't ride with them.
Who do you think gets like affected more by like a playoff atmosphere? Do you think a guard would get affected more or a big man? Like, who do you think it really can like change their game from a young? I think it changes a big man's game more because
I think it changes a big
playoffs is just inherently like more physical, and it's not to say that like Chet Holmgren like is like weak or like too skinny to play. It's just
never been there.
Yeah,
never been there.
Yeah.
And this guy has playoff experience, but he never plays as good as he does in the regular season, and he plays on the Timberwolves right now. Rudy Gobert. You never see Rudy Gobert playing good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because teams figure out how to guard big men.
Yeah.
It is so hard. People don't understand
when you're in the playoffs and you're playing that team consistently.
You can play them 7 games.
You game plan
like
a lot
2
better.
Weeks. Yeah. Like, you have time to literally study everybody and just make a game plan and just adjust.
Yeah. You can't do that in an 82-game season where you study that team, really.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, these guys have never been here before, like some of these young teams. And they're going to be fun to watch, and I want to see them play, but I don't have any confidence in them necessarily. Like, I have confidence in them closing out the regular season fine. Come playoff time, different story.
Yeah.
But yeah,
okay.
I'm excited to see it, though. We'll see. All right. We kind of covered the other topics that we had in here, too, for the NBA. So we're just going to skip over to the NFL. Just a couple quick hitters here. So NFL, they banned hip drop tackles. They're going to change the kickoff rules to kind of avoid more injuries off the kickoffs. And they also moved back the trade deadline real quickly here, boys. What do we make of these rules?
Oh, I do like the new kickoff rule. It's going to allow for more kickoffs, you know. And they're actually going to get to return the ball. And I guess it does prevent more injuries from what I've seen from the Twitter football guys, you know, who always tend to know ball. Well, I'm just playing. But hip drop tackle, here's the thing. I played football when I was younger, but I was more of a basketball guy. So I'm not a football player, but as a fan, and I'm sure Tom can relate as a player in high school, it's a part of football. You know, you're taught to tackle. You're taught to bring a guy down. I know it's a leading cause for injuries. But it's like, at the same time, it's football. And you also mentioned, what was the other thing you mentioned there?
Trade deadline.
Trade deadline, yeah. I like the idea of pushing that back.
I think this whole, like, banning the hip drop tackle, I've seen, this is, to compare it to basketball, this is, like, I've seen people on Twitter talk about banning the charge for, like, because they say it injures, like, play. It's a dumb idea. But this is like if they actually banned the charge. Like, sure, I guess it can cause injuries, but it is a part of the sport. Like, it's just I'm not the biggest football fan, so I mean I'm not like super devastated by this, but I think it is like bad. Like, it's bad for the sport. Like, it's just not good.
Trade deadline getting pushed back. I think that's pretty cool. I like the kickoff rule, honestly.
I like the kickoff rule, too.
From what I've seen from the XFL, it could be a little more exciting, you know, not just touchbacks every single time. The hip drop, absolutely stupid. Like everyone said, part of football, it just happened. If you're like a 210 CB, how are you going to bring down a 270 tight end from behind?
Dude.
Like, it's just That's you grab the guy, you wrap him up, and you come down with him.
I don't know if you guys have seen the memes. I think they're hilarious ever since the hip drop tackle, where it's like NFL defenders trying to tackle Derrick Henry next year, and it's like them running full speed, and they're just like getting out the way. Like that's the only way you could take a guy like Derrick Henry down. But, yeah.
The players hate it too.
Yeah,
I think that speaks.
Get on
for
your
itself.
soapbox, Tom.
I'm going to compliment the NFL before I torch them. So they changed how emergency QBs are used. They can be players on the practice squad now. I like that. My Steelers proposed we move the trade deadline back. I like that. I think right smack dab in the middle of the season, I think that's good. I like that. Right? So there's that. And there's a third challenge now. As long as you get one successful challenge, that's a good one. And they have new reviewable plays. They can review whether a quarterback was down or out of bounds, and then they could review if the play clock expired or not. I love that because when they miss that, I get livid. Kind of like how I'm going to be here right now. The new kickoff rules. Good God. When I was thinking about this, I was trying to think about one of the most like iconic plays in football. Not like individual plays like during a game, but like one you see fairly consistently. This opens the Super Bowl, right? Like this is, for some people, this may be the first play of football you ever see. I think this is an atrocity in the most like respectful way possible. Like, dude, they killed the kickoff. Right, I understand you want more returns. I get it, but like, this may be the most disgusting formation they could have come up with. Like, this is horrific. Like, it's terrible. It looks awful. Like, at least the old one was visually pleasing. Like, I don't know. The NFL makes me sad. I think the game's gotten way too soft. I think it makes me sad. It hurts me. This isn't real football to me. Like I was telling one of my friends, I was like, man, I may go back strictly to high school and college. I know that I it's inevitable I'll watch the Steelers, but like, dude, it hurts. Like, and it makes me really sad. But the hip drop, for as mad as I am about the kickoff, this is BS. Banning the hip drop's a bunch of malarkey. Like it's nonsense. Like Chris, I talked to Coach K yesterday about like he had a hat. I think it said "Make football tough again," or it was something
make
like
football great again.
It was different than that.
He has tongue hats.
Yeah. Well, both those hats are relevant because like, dude, I understand you want to be about safety, but you're getting paid millions of dollars to play a child's game. Respectfully, that's what it is. Anybody who gets to play longer than high school is very fortunate. If you're in the league and you're getting paid millions and you're getting banned for that, do you know how many tight ends and wide receivers are going to get killed? Like their knees are going to get blown out.
Yeah, like Nick Chubb's. Yeah, it's going to happen. People are going to go low. They're going to intentionally go to bust their knee.
I wouldn't say that, but like that's what it's going to end up being. Like, dude, tight ends ACLs are going to get torched. Like they're going to be gone. And like, I understand you want to make the game safer, but this is a violent game. It's always been a violent game. They're turning this into flag football.
That's what they are doing, yeah.
And it truly hurts my soul because I love this game, but like, and I say that like as a Steeler fan. In 2015, Vontaze Burfict took out Lev Bell with a hip drop tackle, and it probably cost us a chance to like, I don't know, if we have him, we probably beat Denver in the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. But like, I've been on the side of that where like my team's gotten screwed because of it. But it's just part of the game. Like, how do you want to tackle those guys? And this comes back to my other thing that I hate, because the league constantly makes everything harder on the defense. They always cater to offenses, and I get they won points, but like it's just so disheartening to see that like we're literally like handing the offense like give me yards, because that's kind of what it is. Like I think Brady said it best. Whenever he would play the Ravens, he wouldn't throw over the middle because Ray Lewis would murder who was ever coming across. Like, that's part of playing quarterback. You're supposed to be able to read a defense. Like, I don't know. I'm so disheartened with the NFL. I'm so disheartened with the owners. Like, I think Jason mentioned it. Like, the players, they hate it. Like, I don't know. I'm really the NFL disappoints me, makes me sad. I hate that I have to come on here and rant about this. I love it, but I don't know. It's really freaking stupid, and it makes me mad.
They need to overrule it somehow. Let's just say that it needs to.
Listen.
Players union.
Yeah, the players are the ones playing the game. Ask the players.
Yeah, most of
them. Yeah, most of them are complaining about it on social media.
It's two-hand tap football.
At least 3 out of 4 of them. It's funny that Jack Lambert said almost 30 years ago they're going to put skirts on quarterbacks. We're getting to that point. By 2035, this could potentially just be flag football.
Could be. Like, we could see Kenny Pickett in a skirt in Philly.
He's not my problem anymore. Talk all you want about.
Well, I wasn't even taking a shot at Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah, well,
I was just taking a shot at Philly for even thinking of trading for that small-handed man.
Russ is small-handed, and he's also whatever. But like, most out of pocket person I've ever met, Kris Jacoby. But yeah, I don't know. The players should have a say. They're the ones out there taking the hits, laying the hits. Like, it should be up to them, but it won't be, and we'll slowly ruin the game, the great game of football. I'll cry about it.
Mr. Buttar.
Sorry, Jacob, for taking your time.
No, it's okay. This is all I'm going to say. You're playing a contact sport, bro. Like, what do you think? Like, you're going to get injured, bro. Like, that's why I don't understand, and I agree with Tom entirely. Like, you're just penalizing the defense. The hip drop tackle makes me so angry that they took that out because it's like, how are you supposed to tackle anybody? Like, how can you tackle anybody now? Like, without it just being a flag? Like, again, like the low shots, I know, but, like, it's just terrible. It's just terrible.
Well, like, dude, here's what they're gonna do within 5 years when the hip drop tackles, since that's gone, they're gonna do the same thing in 3 or 4 years with like the next most injury prone tackle.
I know.
You like, dude, this is starting a chain reaction, and there's literally no way to stop it. Like. And dude, like, it hurts. It hurts because like the NFL, I don't know. They to me they used to be like the king of all leagues, any level. Like they were the king to me. They're becoming. I make fun of baseball for being soft. They're softer than the MLB. They're soft. They may be softer than the NBA now. Like. Will, you summed it up great when you talked about taking away the charge.
Yeah,
like
it's just a part of the game.
Yeah, it's
contact sport.
You're getting paid millions of dollars to take a hit, be a man, and get up. That's what you're paid to do. You signed up for this. Nobody forced you to keep playing. This is what happens when old men think they know what's best. I'm sorry, but like this is what happens when boomers make decisions. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong because
I'm so mad. I'm sorry.
No. Here's this is all I'll say about the NFL, like, as far as injuries go. Addressing concussions, I think, is fine, just because it's like CT is like legit and real. Like, we've all figured that out now. Okay, thank you. I wasn't gonna say that, but no, like, on a real note, like, it's like legitimately killed some like former NFL players just because it's bad. Like, that's bad for the game. So when they were making all the rule changes, like, for concussions and everything, that's fine. But like, you can't tell me that, like, okay, banning the hip drop tackle is gonna like limit more torn ACLs or like hip injuries or whatever. You're playing a contact sport. Like, you're going to get hit. You're going to like. I don't understand that.
It's like what I said. Everybody's just gonna go for the knees now. Like,
yes.
every knee of anybody that crosses the middle, it's gonna get blown out. It's gonna get destroyed. And then the NFL, then they're gonna take out going for knees. That's gonna give you maybe max a foot of area you
just
can hit.
Overturn it. All I gotta say, NFLPA. Overturn it. Overturn the rule.
The NFLPA should revolt.
They can.
Like, literally, I saw some fans on there, like Ravens fans more specifically, they're like, oh my gosh, like this is redemption for Mark Andrews or whatever for his injury. Okay, so when Mark Andrews blows his knee out when they're going for his knee, like they're probably going to be complaining to get that tackle out too.
I said it earlier. Lev Bell in 2015, he was having one of the best years of his career, hands down. The Steelers that year, they weren't as good as they were in 16 and 17. But if they have Lev Bell, you can't tell me they don't at least go to the AFC Championship game and have a chance. I've been on both sides of this, and it sucks. You never want to see anyone get hurt. I hate seeing it. When I tore my labrums and had to sit out, I hated it. It sucks. I know what it's like. But it's part of the game. It is a part of the game fundamentally. Not to hurt people, but to play tough and play physical. For 60 minutes. It hurts. It makes me sad.
Because with defenders now, this is what they are literally thinking. So, like, Derrick Henry, what do we think? He's probably like 240, 250 or something like that.
He's like 240.
Big. Yeah. So, he's a big man, and he's probably running at you maybe like 20 miles an hour, like full head of steam. And as a defender, you're standing there probably thinking now, like, oh, how am I going to tackle him? Because I can't go for his hip, or I can't go high, or I can't go low. Like, literally, like, now these defenders are kind of putting themselves in danger more because they're going to be standing there just thinking, like, oh, how can I actually legally tackle this dude now, basically? Like, it's bad for the defenders.
Yeah, you can't tackle. You literally can't tackle anymore. Like, that. Mike Mitchell, he was a safety. He played for the Raiders, and then he played for the Steelers. I think it was around 2016 or so when he said this. He was like, he just ripped the NFL for being like, they will not give defenses a chance. They don't. They only care about offenses. They, like I said earlier, because they care about points. They only care about the health of the players on the offensive side of the ball. Everybody on defense be damned. Like, it's a strategic part of the game not to get your players killed. That's on coaching, and that's on the quarterback to make the right frickin' read. Like, it's just, it's baffling. It's baffling how people like the league tend to just overthink and like not acknowledge what's best for the game and the players. So I don't know. It sucks, but this is the world we live in. I'm going back to college sports. This is
welcome back.
I don't know.
I've been there.
We had some technical difficulties. I don't know.
No. It recorded the whole time.
It was still rolling?
Yeah, yes.
Let's go, Chris. Let's go. But yeah.
Remember that 131 timestamp?
Oh my gosh.
I hope people actually listen this far.
Unlikely, but
yeah. No, but I don't know. I may give up on the NFL. Dude, it's just not. It's not real football anymore. It's literally not.
All right. Very, very nice. Very nice. So we're running a little low on time. We're kind of going. We're going pretty far now. So we're just going to do a quick last call here now. Again, in the spirit of March Madness, since it is still March, guys, real quickly, who's your favorite Cinderella team or favorite upset that you can remember from March Madness?
Like team, I'm going to say Loyola of Chicago back in 2018.
Okay.
I would say the same. I mean, there's been upsets that kind of like were bigger upsets, I guess. But that, I don't know. It just, for some reason, it feels different. Like now that we've had 2 16 seeds upset, it seemed, besides this year, it wasn't the last 3 years we had a 15 over a 2. So it kind of like, I guess, loses a little bit of its weight. But that Loyola team, that was awesome. Making it all the way to the Final Four, like I didn't even have them winning in the first round. Like I didn't know about Loyola. Like they were just, in every single game they played was like down to the wire. And it started with that first game that was a buzzer beater. They beat that Miami team who had one of the best coaches, who had his own great March Madness run with George Mason, which that was before our time. But Jim Larrañaga, one of the best mid-major, one of the best college coaches, very underrated. He's done a lot with not very much with a lot of different teams. But yeah, Loyola Chicago.
I'm going to say real quick, that was an all-time Tom Dry rant, and I would have to agree, Loyola of Chicago. I was not familiar with your game when I watched. It was 2018, right?
Yeah.
When I was watching in 2018, but that was a magical run.
I love Loyola. Oh my God, Loyola Chicago. That was like around the time. I think that was my second year of really caring about college basketball, so that was great. But for the sake of having some variety, I'm gonna go St. Peter's and their Elite Eight run in 2022. They played good ball. They beat Purdue that year. They just lost barely in the Elite Eight to North Carolina. Well, I don't want to say barely, but
they got blown out.
They lost by like 20. But they lost to North Carolina, but they beat Murray State and Kentucky. So another shout-out Calipari. Yeah, so that was another great run.
Another great one. This was like one of the first upsets I remember was the FGCU.
Dude, you
Dunk
took
City.
It out of my mouth. Yeah,
were you about to say that?
I was literally about to say that.
You talk then. You talk about it.
FGCU, I can just remember watching them knock off Otto Porter in Georgetown and like literally Dunk City, like how you put it. It was just crazy because it's one thing to upset a team. Like normally the upsets is again like, oh, smaller school or whatever. Like that's a big one. These dudes though, they were getting up and they were getting all over Georgetown on that one. Like that. Yeah. Like that was Dunk City was just classic. That was
usually like the formula for an upset is the higher seed shooting bad, the lower seed shooting lights out. Mm-hmm. But that was different.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I agree. And then Oral Roberts also comes to mind. That was also a very good one. That like again, Ohio State. I never would have thought they would have lost to Oral Roberts, and then Oral Roberts came up.
And then UMBC obviously.
UMBC is my favorite upset. Yeah, UMBC is my favorite upset because that's when I was genuinely just like watching that game, and I was just like, dude, there's no way this is actually gonna happen.
I couldn't believe it because it had never.
No. Yeah.
I think everybody in college basketball just like was like that'll never happen.
Yeah,
it was kind of just like I think now in modern college basketball it definitely is more likely to happen. Mm-hmm. Like we've seen it 2 times in the past 10 years.
Yeah,
and I think college basketball is different in that when it used to be the 1 seeds that you would have since it was more usual for guys to play 3-4 years in college. Those teams would be so complete that they were like basically unbeatable if you were a lesser team. And now it's different. But that first time UMBC beating Virginia, that was like the biggest story like ever.
Especially that Virginia team too, because that was peak Virginia basketball. Like obviously they won the Natty the next year, which is crazy. But like I mean they had
that was a great team.
DeAndre Hunter, Kyle Guy was on that team too.
Ty Jerome.
Yeah. Ty Jerome, I hope he gets healthy, man. He's still on the Cavs, and he's only played 2 games this year. Like, I feel bad for the guy. But, yeah, I mean, that was crazy. That's probably my favorite game, honestly. Favorite upset. But Oral Roberts is definitely up there, too. And Dunk City. Dunk City is one of those things, though, where I don't remember the game as much because I was so long ago. But all I remember is just, like, the highlight dunks where I was just like, holy cow.
I remember seeing it on SportsCenter and everything. Yes. And those blue and green uniforms.
And another one that I'll mention, and then, like, I'm done mentioning stuff. Lehigh with CJ McCollum.
Yep. Over Duke.
Canton native. CJ.
He almost went to Akron, and then his mom convinced him to go to Lehigh.
I just love seeing the pictures of CJ McCollum too, where his jersey's like so baggy on him, and then now he's still balling in the NBA. I love CJ McCollum. But
yes, sir.
Great show here again today, gentlemen. Shout out that.
Let's have a weekend. Let's watch some college ball.
Happy Easter weekend to you all as well. That's kind of why we recorded a little earlier this week as well.
And because the games start tomorrow.
And the games, yes. But we'll be signing off here from another edition of Raider Zone. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Mr.